Hello everyone, welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Once we hit 5,000 subscribers, we'll be celebrating with a special jersey giveaway. 2 lucky subscribers will have the chance to win a jersey of their choosing. Whether you're a diehard fan or you're just joining the fun, this giveaway is our way of saying thank you for your support. So spread the word, hit that subscribe button, and let's reach our goal by the end of July. Now, back to the video. So today we're going to talk about 5 managers who could replace Gregg Berhalter if he is fired like we think he will be. Okay, at number 5, now a lot of you will say this is far-fetched, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but this team has to swing for the fences, and I believe if they come up with the right offer, they could potentially have a chance to sign Jurgen Klopp. Now, Jurgen Klopp is obviously a world-class manager, and he had a very successful stint at Borussia Dortmund and an even more successful stint at Liverpool, able to win a Champions League and the Premier League during the Pep Guardiola era in the Premier League when Man City is dominated. And he just wins everywhere he is, and he changes the culture. Now, a lot of you will say, well, there's no chance they're gonna hire him. Absolutely no chance. And I do think it's an uphill battle, but just hear me out. Jurgen Klopp has been burnt out on club level coaching, and I think that the national team job would be perfect for him because it's a lot less attention, a lot less maintenance. Probably working between 8 to 12 weeks a year. I would say like hard, and he can also kind of move around as much as he wants. He can be in Europe. He can come over here. There's not as much commitment as there is in the Premier League or any other when it comes to club level football. And this would be a home run hire. This would be my number one candidate of who I would want. But this list is more about realistic coaches and how attainable they are. And I mentioned this earlier in a tweet, but Jesse Marsh was hired by Canada because the 3 MLS clubs were put up $1 million each to be able to hire him because the federation was broke. So they were able to combine all 3 MLS clubs, put up the money, hire Jesse Marsh, and look what happened. They made it further than the U.S. men's national team in Copa America 2024. So I think there's something like this where each team could collaborate and they could potentially put some money up if that's an issue for Jurgen Klopp. Try to call him, make him tell you no. This is who I would be going for. Jurgen Klopp, number 5 on my list. At number 4, I have Steve Cherundolo. Steve Cherundolo played his entire career in the Bundesliga, so obviously he's got a lot of European experience. He got his first coaching with the Las Vegas Lights, and it was a disaster, but it was kind of like they really weren't expecting him to win much there. It was a developmental team for LAFC 2 or LAFC. They were an affiliated club with LAFC, and the grand plan was for him to take over eventually. He was always their guy, but he comes to LAFC, does what Bob Bradley couldn't do, former U.S. men's national team manager, I must add. He was able to win an MLS Cup and go to 2 MLS Cups back to back, and was the runner-up in the 2023 CONCACAF Champions League final against Lyon. So obviously he has a great pedigree. He's a former national team player. He is the better version of what Gregg Berhalter was supposed to be, or what he is, because he won at the club level, unlike Gregg Berhalter. So he's a little bit more accomplished, especially in the shorter term. I personally don't want to go this route, but I would see, just being realistic, I think that this is definitely something that could happen because we are so insistent on hiring American coaches. And he is probably the most successful American coach in MLS right now. So that would be a name that I would keep an eye on. Steve Cherundolo at number 4. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'm not sure. At number 3, we have Marcelo Gallardo. Now, Marcelo Gallardo was River Plate's manager, very successful, and he had been rumored with several big clubs throughout his tenure in South America. But he ended up coaching in the Saudi league, which was kind of random, but obviously they paid him, handsomely to come over there. But there's been a lot of rumors with him coming to Atlanta over the years. There's rumors with him going to Barcelona for several years, but he never made that jump to Europe and he never came to MLS. Well, right now he just recently got fired. He's a free or on the market. He's a free agent. He's completely open. That's a manager that I would love to see the U.S. men's national team make. That is someone who's very obtainable if they're willing to spend. Now, the stigma that the U.S. men's national team has made when making hires for the national team coaches that they have said that they need to speak English. I believe that this doesn't matter. I've said this numerous times if you've been following me. Hire the best person, regardless of what they look like, the way they talk, the way that, how many languages they speak. Who gives a damn? Just hire the best manager possible. And that's what, that's going to lead them to the most success, right? Who cares how many languages they speak? As long as they're winning games, I don't care. So this would make plenty of sense, especially with him being free. I believe he would be a great coach for the national team. He's got a lot of success. His days at River Plate were very good. So I believe that would be a great transition and a good manager to push us forward. Now, at number 2, I have Wilfried Nancy. Wilfried Nancy is probably the best coach in MLS. You could debate that he's not, but I would say he is. That's my opinion. I believe he's the best coach in MLS. And a lot of people were saying, well, I don't know if I want him to coach the U.S. men's national team. What has he proven? He's on a star-studded team with the Columbus Crew, and they're only winning because they spend. Did you watch him at Montreal? Montreal is one of the least spending teams in MLS, and he took them to a second place finish in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is the most stacked conference of the two between the East and the West. He finished at number 2 with Montreal. That's insane. And a lot of people were like, excluding myself, well, what would he do if he was with a club that actually spent? Well, your answer was you had your question answered. He won MLS Cup. He won MLS Cup in his first year at Columbus. So, I'm a huge fan of Wilfried Nancy. He gets the most of his players. He's very innovative. He is a great coach from top to bottom. And people might be upset. They're like, I don't want to hire another Columbus Crew coach. Well, hey, this Columbus Crew coach won an MLS Cup, unlike the last loser, right? He won an MLS Cup. He went to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, or CONCACAF Champions Cup. CONCACAF Champions Cup. They've changed his name so many times. The CONCACAF Champions Cup final, and they lost to Pachuca, but he got there, and the road he had to go through to get there, beating Tigres, beating Monterrey on the road, absolutely spanking them, cooking them. He is a good manager, and I think that he could really get the most out of what we have. And if they end up hiring him, I know a lot of people will be upset and not give him a chance because he's an MLS manager, but I think he has what it takes to really help this team and elevate them. And I would be very excited and optimistic about that. Anybody is better than Gregg Berhalter. Gregg Berhalter is the bottom of the barrel, biggest loser. He would be one of the worst coaches in MLS, let alone on the national team level. So Wilfried Nancy would be a huge jump up for the U.S. men's national team. At number 1, now this is the guy that I've been wanting to hire for years now. This is the guy that I thought we should have hired when Gregg Berhalter's contract ran out at the end of the 2022 World Cup cycle. Yogi Love. Yogi Love. I would love to have him to coach his team. What more could you want? He does speak English, which they clearly that has to be a thing, which is stupid, but that is something that they demand that you must be able to do. But he has done it all. He was the German national team coach from 2006 to 2020. He won the 2014 World Cup. He was instrumental in developing the German national team and to their golden generation and making sure everything was a well-oiled machine, right? Everybody was like, well, look at the talent he had. Of course, me and Alexi talked about this. A good chef is good when he has good ingredients. But, I feel like he was responsible for getting a lot of that set up and building out the system in the German football. Jurgen Klinsmann, a lot of grief is given to him, but I think of some of the things that we're seeing now and the players that we have now is because of the work and the foundation that Jurgen Klinsmann set up a decade ago. And I believe that that's what Yogi Löw did for the German national team in 2006. He set the foundation to have a huge payoff for the German national team, and they won a World Cup. How many managers are on the market right now who has won a World Cup? Who speaks English, right? That's one of your prerequisites. They have to speak English. How many of them are on the market right now? How many of them would be willing to come to MLS? He checks all the boxes. Yes, he scratches stuff. Yes, he sniffs stuff. Who cares, right? I don't care what he scratches and what he sniffs. I just want to win games. And I believe he gives us the best chance to do that. So he's number one on my list of realistic coaches that I would want and who they might be interested in. And I would love to know in the comments section what you guys think. Who do you want the U.S. men's national team to hire? Be realistic. Don't say Pep Guardiola because it's not happening. Who do you guys want the U.S. men's national team to hire? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.